The Senate President, Akpabio, tentatively approved a non-existent request for presidential jets for Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. At an emergency Senate session, Akpabio clarified that no such requests have been made, but emphasized that the Senate will approve it if necessary to prevent incidents like the deaths of the Vice President of Malawi and the Iran President in aircraft crash. He dismissed social media rumors and anticipatory blackmail about the jets, stating that the Senate is focused on benefiting Nigerians. Akpabio highlighted that he never received any correspondence about a new presidential jet and insisted that the Senate never discussed such a request. He stressed the importance of maintaining the presidential aircraft to ensure their safety. Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele echoed Akpabio's statement, confirming no request for new jets has been made and criticizing media misinformation. He noted the presence of propagandists attempting to destabilize the country and the parliament. Bamidele assured that any such request would be discussed by the full National Assembly, comprising the 469 elected representatives. The emergency session aimed to extend the implementation period for the 21 trillion 2023 budget and the 2.17 trillion 2023 supplementary budgets. Speculations arose that the hasty resumption was to extend the budget period and potentially slip in the cost of a new presidential jet into the 2024 supplementary budget, which Akpabio and Bamidele both denied.
We will approve things that will improve the living standard of the people. At the same time, we will also take cognizance of the duties of Mr. President. If his vehicle is bad, we will repair the vehicle. If his plane is bad, we will approve money for the repair of the plane. So that is not an issue. There is nothing before us. I don't think you should bother about it. Somebody called me and said that he was quoting from BBC, that what I said in Senator Monguno's house, that the statement was false and should be disregarded. That I was now saying that I will not approve. That is what you may call anticipatory blackmail. The purveyors of the story know very well that maybe there is problem with the presidential fleet and that where they will go to will be the parliament. And so they are now trying to do anticipatory blackmail to tell us if they bring it, do not look into it. So I think that we should ignore them and focus on what we are doing here. I've read the president's correspondences to us. There was nothing touching on plane or no plane. But I can tell you that when you hear stories such as the death of the Vice President of Malawi as a result of defective plane, and then you hear stories such as the death of the President of Iran as a result of defective craft. In fact, this time it was a helicopter and all that. We shouldn't ever dream and allow such to be our portion. It won't be. The Senate is very responsible. The National Assembly is very responsible. We will look into issues that will benefit the governance of the country, irrespective of anticipatory blackmail. Get the words, anticipatory blackmail. They know very well that something like that may come in future, and if it's a necessity, the Senate will look into it. But there is nothing like that before us now. So they can go ahead, anticipate and blackmail the Senate President. It will not affect me.
Now, let us even go further on this issue of presidential aircraft purchase. Reports coming out shows that the Tinubu-led government wants to purchase an Airbus A330 aircraft seized from an Arab prince and businessman who could not pay back loan he owned a German bank.
Report coming out shows that the Nigerian government wants to purchase an Airbus A330 aircraft seized from an unnamed Arab prince and businessman who could not pay hundreds of millions of dollars he owed a German bank. Presidency officials have kept their lips shut about plans to buy a new presidential jet. However, the report obtained shows that the government has already identified an aircraft for purchase, but is scrambling for funds to consummate the transaction. The identified aircraft is said to be a repossessed one, recovered from a troubled oil sheikh, who used the airplane as collateral for a loan he obtained from an unidentified German bank to buy it. When a bank loan is taken to purchase an aircraft, the aircraft is usually pledged as collateral. Report revealed that the bank repossessed the aircraft from the debtor businessman, but found it challenging to sell due to its executive customization. The aircraft is now in the possession of L&L International, an American aviation firm based in Miami, Florida. L&L International is trying to help the German bank sell it to the Nigerian government. The multi-engine Prestige jet, which has an elaborate VIP configuration, is said to be worth $600 million. But the Nigerian government is offering a little over $100 million. Our sources say they are unsure if that offer is acceptable to L&L International LLC. If L&L International accepts the amount offered, it will be an excellent deal for Nigeria, an aviation expert said. Nigeria can resell it twice or triple that amount, and it is a perfect aircraft. Another source said AMAC Aerospace AG, a Swiss aviation company, is coordinating the Nigerian government's purchase of the aircraft. AMAC Aerospace AG has a long-standing aircraft maintenance contract with Nigeria's Presidential Air Fleet, PAF. According to the source, the company identified the aircraft and recommended that the Nigerian government purchase it, citing its affordable cost and reliability. The company is now coordinating the purchase by working with L&L International and Nigeria's Presidential Air Fleet officials. When contacted, Alexis Ott, AMAC Aerospace's Director of Maintenance Sales and Key Account Management, declined comment, saying he could not discuss his company's business relationships with unrelated parties. Multiple presidential sources has reported that the government is now scrambling to find the funds to buy the aircraft. While the government has put 3 of the aircraft in the fleet for sale, it is believed that they may not fetch enough money to settle the cost of the aircraft to be acquired as a replacement. An official said some of the money to purchase the plane would come from the N180 billion contingency fund provided for a service-wide vote in the 2023 supplementary budget. On Thursday, the National Assembly approved President Bola Tinubu's request to extend the lifespan of the 2023 supplementary budget to December 31st. The government did not envisage the purchase of aircraft this year, so there is no provision for it in the 2024 budget. In a June 4th report forwarded to the presidency after an investigative hearing, the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence asked the federal government to immediately procure 2 airplanes for Tinubu and Shettima to secure the transportation of the country's top officials. The House Committee's call immediately triggered widespread criticism from some Nigerians who questioned the wisdom of buying new airplanes when Nigeria faces severe economic hardship. However, a few days later, the Senate Committee on National Security and Intelligence supported the recommendations made by its House of Representatives counterpart. The chairman of the committee, Shehu Buba, who said not quickly overhauling the presidential air fleet could endanger the president's and his deputies' lives. Mr. Buba said, "It is true that our country is facing economic difficulty, but that will not justify jeopardizing or endangering the lives of our president, our vice president, other top government officials, and any citizen for that matter. We are all aware of the air mishaps in Iran and Malawi recently, which claimed the lives of the president and vice president of those countries, respectively. We commiserate with the people and governments of those countries, but we must also, as a people, do whatever is necessary to lower the possibility of such disasters in our country. No sacrifice is too much to pay for the safety of our leaders and citizens. We elected them, so we have a collective responsibility to protect them at all times." Buba said. When asked why lawmakers are pushing for new aircraft for the nation's top leaders, but uninterested in calling on the government to pay workers a decent minimum wage, the senator said, "The recommendations the House Committee made, are related to those matters. The safety of our leaders and the health of the presidential air fleet are matters of national security concern. Raising those matters does not mean the committee members do not care about the issue of minimum wage, which is already being well handled by government and organized labor." The Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, spokesperson, Zakari Minjiyawa, declined to comment on the status of the presidential jet transaction. He said the presidential air fleet, domiciled in ONSA, had yet to brief him on any development on the matter,